Hi, it's Sandra here from Create in Spain, and today I'm just going to do a little video which is showing you the process of stamp making. Right, I have my glass plates here. Now these are just normal domestic glass that I had cut, and the glass is 1/2 centimetre thick. It was just cut off of offcuts from the glass shop. And I have my sentiment printed out. Now this is printed out on tracing paper with a laser printer. I found that I can't use my inkjet for that, it just does not like it. I have a piece of cellophane here, and my cellophane is cut up card bags. You know, the bags that you buy to store greeting cards in? Well, it's just a piece of that cut. And I'm just going to use some masking tape to put that in place because I don't want that piece to move around. There we go. Now I have made myself some frames that I'm using now for my stamp making, and this is what I'm using. This one is slightly wet because I've already used it today. And I've simply designed these so that I don't have to use sticky tape, the foam tape, to do the damming. So I'm going to place this frame, which is the right size, over the word, like so. Now, as I said, it is slightly wet, and that's because I've already used this particular one, and so it's had some of the gel already on it. And I haven't bothered to wipe it off because the advantage of it being slightly wet is I can still do that and it's not going to move anywhere. So, you know, yes, it's got some of the gel, but no, it doesn't matter. So the next thing I need is the gel to go into my dam. But the other thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to put this larger frame around the outside. And the reason I do that is because this one is quite small. And because I don't clamp my glass together, I could easily tip it one way or another. So that just keeps things on an even keel. Now I have my gel, which is Collop NG7, and I've got it in my old shampoo bottle. And yes, I washed out my shampoo bottle very thoroughly before I put this stuff in because I don't want it all bubbly. That definitely wouldn't be good. Now when you're filling the dam, you want to make sure you've got enough gel so that it's well filled, but not so much that you're going to be wasting it by flooding everything else. There we go. Now if you're in luck, you won't get any bubbles on the top. I've got a couple of tiny little bubbles, but they're not actually in the way of the design. If they are, put a pin through them and try and move them. If you get some really stubborn ones, get your heat embossing tool and just wave it over for a second or so. Don't heat the gel up too much. Now I've got a piece of a plastic document folder, which is the other thing that I use, and I'm just going to place that on the top like so, and put my other piece of glass on top and press down thoroughly. Now because I have these frames here, this should all be even, and that's why I made the frames up in the first place, because it can't squash. The foam tape can squash and this cannot. So pull this forward now. I'm going to give this 45 seconds on what is the back of the stamp. So I've got my little timer here, and I'll just give it the 45 seconds. Now you can use a timer which is on your machine if you've got one, but mine are at 90 seconds, 120 and 180, so they're not really very useful for this particular instance. So the design I've chosen is what I call my standard thickness of line. So it's my medium, if you like. I do designs which are finer and I do ones which are thicker. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's that done. Now I'm going to remove it. Grab hold, flip, and put it under that way. And now I'm going to put my timer on for 1 minute. So 1 minute and go. But I found that 45 seconds cures the back to a nice level. That gives me a good background. So nearly there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. When I've actually finished this, I will show you the stamp actually stamping. There we go. So as you can see, this isn't a messy process particularly. I take both the pieces off, pull them both off at the same time. This larger piece will fall off, and then this I simply gently pull away to reveal my background. Now I'm going to take that into the bathroom and just wash it with warm soapy water and a nail brush. Okay, so here's the frame that I took off, and as you can see it's just wet. It's not even sticky, it's just wet. I'm going to move this little lot to the side. My design is still clean, so I can reuse it if I so wish, it's not a problem. And this is the resulting stamp. Now it still needs to go in for a final cure, a hardening if you like, and to do that I put it in this little dish with some water, and it'll go back under my lamp for about 3 minutes. But I just wanted to show you, hopefully you can see that that is a nice deep stamp. Okay, this is why I wanted to have my my frames, if you like, to make sure that my stamps had a good depth to them, to make sure it was nice and regular, and to standardize the process so that, you know, there are as few variables as you can get. So this will just peel off, and I can dry this piece of plastic and reuse it, it's not a problem. So the only one that gets thrown away is the very thin cellophane. That's because I can't be bothered to wash that. So that goes in there, and that goes in there for 3 minutes, solely because I've got a 3-minute timer, so I thought I might as well use it. There we go. So, you know, it is not a difficult process, it isn't unduly messy, and you can get some really, really lovely results. I'll come back in a couple of minutes when it's cured, and then I can show you the stamp actually stamping the image. Okay, so I can switch this off now. It's had another 3 minutes in here. And usually if I'm making more than one stamp, what I do is I save them all up till the end of the session, and then I do them all at the same time. And you can see the depth, hopefully, of that stamp. Now I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and trim away some excess material. So get rid of some of the unneeded stuff, like so. And I've got one of these like funny chamois type cloths here that don't shed, so I'm just going to dry it in that. It's the easiest thing to use. There's nothing like getting hairs all over your stamps. It's horrid. It really is vile when you get hairs all over them. So there we go. If at any point you decide they're too sticky, simply put them in another tray of water and just put them back in for a little while longer. There we are. There's my stamp, all made. And let's get a stamp block. Now it may not be the clearest of image because it's still slightly damp, but you should be able to get an idea. It might bleed a little bit. So I'll have my ink here if I move this out of the way, move that into shot a bit better. See if I can get a bit closer. I could if I move that even more. Right, there we are. So just ink it up. And so am I using Memento inks? I happen to quite like those. And a piece of cardstock. And I'm doing this on a completely hard surface, and there we have a perfect print. There we are, nothing wrong with that at all. That's brilliant. So that's how I make my stamps. As I said, I developed these rings and frames. I've got some circular ones as well, but I developed these. I've got a whole set of them in different sizes, simply to get rid of having lots of sticky foam tape being put into my rubbish bin, but also because since this doesn't squash, it makes a much better frame for a dependable eventual finish. So that's why I did that. There we go. That's all there is to it. It's really, really quite simple when you know how. Take care now. Bye.